Welcome back, everyone. Geez, it's good to say that. The first edition of Raise Trade Mondays for 2026. And I am joined by an elite on baller who switched clubs in the off season. Clary, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Let a few people down with my score this week, but it's good to be back. I haven't potted with you since the BBL team previews, so it's been a while. But it's good to be back on Race Trade Mondays. No team drop Thursdays this year, unfortunately, which I'm sure we'll speak about. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We're not kicking along with them anymore because, well, we're broke. DR can't afford to pay us. But no, in all seriousness, literally just uni and other commitments. So that's a massive pain. But we will kick on with Rage Trade Mondays. And I mean, it's been a long time. Like
Mm.
there has been a shortage of pods between us, but I mean, there's been no shortage of abuse coming from you through text messages. So, I mean, I don't think you're trading this week. I don't think
Mm.
so. Although, from
Yeah.
everything that I've gotten from you, it seems like you might. But I'm going to say you won't, but there's a small chance you will. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, at the moment, I don't think I am trading. There was a little bit when obviously Marshall and Philippou looked like they were injured. It now looks like both of them are fine. Um, Even if they were going to miss this week or miss extended period of time, I was going to wait a week and just see another week of Cook, another week of Harry Sharp, maybe Jake Rogers, all these unknown rookies that did pretty well in round one. But the only trade that I am considering and I am really thinking about is Blackiston to Fonte. And the reason for that, um, obviously, Blackiston, he started well against Hawthorn, but then just as the game went on, I think the two rucks just tired him out. I think he had 4 points in the last quarter, ended up on 62 after being 58 three-quarter time. And he's got a very hard run coming up. After Vizentini, it's like I think Sherry's in there, Gorn's in there, Witts is in there, English is in there, Darcy Cameron's in there, the double rocks of Brisbane. So it's pretty tough. And Fonte's on the bubble, which makes it so hard. You can't wait 1 week, give Blackiston one more week against Vizentini if you want to go Fonte because he's going to go up 50k this week or even more. So that's the one trade I'm considering, but at the moment, I'm probably going to just hold fire and back in Blackiston's role.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a different position to you because like, I'm definitely seeing how he goes this week. If it
Mm.
isn't nice at all, like when I say nice, I'm not talking anything like over 100, I'm talking 75 plus, then I'm probably going to pair him with, at this point in time, I'm fairly set on Degoe out as well, but that's next week. This week, I've got to deal with Goulden. I mean, the only
Mm.
saving grace for that was that it happened after he'd got a decent score.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't as if, he's gone down. Like, the year that Tommy Green went down on 5, that was a killer. I can't think of any other examples, but just it was, I guess, yeah, as I said, any saving grace, at least he went down when he was 100 plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's been others like Whitfield and Tom Stewart multiple times.
Yep.
So you are lucky there. I think a lot of people in the chat and watching this, whether it's on replay or live, are going to have the same conundrum as you, and it's who are you going to trade Golden to?
Well, at this point in time, like, initial thought was Sarong. But then,
Mm.
obviously, I understood that last quarter was mammoth. But then I was like, well, I was looking at that as a positive. So he can do that in one quarter. So surely that could filter over, throughout the game. But then you think about it, like, does that just mean like Hayden Young is going to sit at full forward for the entire last quarter of every single game, which I
Mm.
don't think eventuates. And the only one at this point in time is Noah Anderson. And the only thing that would have, I guess, scared me off or probably led me to another avenue would have been if he had been concussed, which he's not. So he's fine.
Yeah. Is it any factor to you? Because I know I do focus more towards cash leagues than rank. I do care about my rank, but I think you're more leaning towards rank. Are you a bit concerned that Anderson still has a buy early, whereas Sarong is buy free? And I might even put this to you: is there any chance that you could get Good into the flex and get up to Luke Jackson? Because his role looked awesome.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, oh, that would be. I don't know. Honest answer is I don't know. The
Mm,
first, it was Luke Jackson. That role was just, I mean, amazing, absolutely
yeah.
amazing, and he looked
Mm,
so good. But I just think, oh, I don't know. It was just that initial name that came to my head was Sarong, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't think that it eventuates that. I guess Hayden Young isn't in those mid rotations. Like he got scaled down 10 points, and that was because
mm,
game was on the line. It was tight. Scaling occurred, but he didn't touch it. I don't think that eventuates every single game. I don't think he sits at full forward. So therefore, I think that eats into Sarong's last quarter, I guess mid minutes, so to speak. And then like it's Noah Anderson, and I guess it's that little bit of appeal as well. Like I've never owned him before, and I just think, well, everything's pointing towards that. I've got the coin to do it in one trade. Don't have to trade out Marshall. Don't have to trade out Philippou. Can just do that in one move. And it's
mm.
like, is that not? It kind of seems obvious, and sometimes obvious is good.
Yeah, you always get the obvious pick. I mean, Anderson averaged the eighth most points last year for any mid, and I had him projected above Rao this year before that injury. I think he can push into that top five. Obviously, he's still young. I think he's like 24, maybe 25, and the seasonal averages have just gone up every single year, and by a considerable bit as well. He got a lot more consistent last year. Initially, the issue with him was that he'd be really good at home, really good in the blowouts, but as soon as it's away or it gets a bit tough, he was dropping those sub 100 scores, but seems to be a lot more consistent now and looks a lot better. The one question I will ask you though, in terms of Young, are you a little bit concerned that that four time in the last quarter, yes, it could have been management, but the game was on the line. Um, wouldn't you want your best midfield mix in that midfield when the game's on the line, especially when you're 30 points up and end up losing the game? I think that's what I'd be a little bit concerned about in terms of Young and that forward role in the last quarter.
Answering it as a whole, I think a full holistic look at like the sports industry, they are so hell bent on, like, even in soccer, in cricket, you see it, like you get the quicks that get rested. They are so hell bent on managed minutes. If a player needs,
Mm,
like, they stick to it. It's very rarely that you see a player that is underdone or whatever go against what the initial plan was. So I think they would have just, I don't think he would have been on managed minutes, so to speak, but it would have been on a managed role. He wasn't going to play entire midfield. I reckon they would have went in with a plan. He's got 2.5 quarters of pure midfield and a sprinkling of forward, and then we're going to sit him at full forward, and that's it. So
mm,
yes, he's still on the ground. His time on ground's not going to be affected, but it's also they're meeting their requirements, and he's not going to go over that threshold to put him into a danger zone of a reoccurring injury.
yeah.
Because, like, let's face it, at the end of the day, physios and medicos, they have the final say, unless it's with like concussion and it's a star player, because there's different rules for them. Like, that's just the way I see it. But if a physio comes up and they say, look, player A can only be on the ground for 75% time on ground, then chances are the return comment is going to be, well, can we push that to say 80, but they play forward for 5%? So then everyone's a little bit happier. So no, I don't think that's an issue going forward. And if anything, it probably puts him in good stead for the run ahead, doesn't it?
Yeah, it probably does. It's just, I guess the question becomes how long are they going to manage him for? I guess a couple of niggles in the preseason. Had that really, really good game against Adelaide in the preseason, but
Yep.
did pull up sore. Who knows? He could have pulled up sore this week as well. His body is a bit iffy at this stage in the last couple of years. So yeah, I think the question does just become how long are they going to be managing him for? But I mean, as someone that faded young,
Yes.
very very late, mind you, I was very very nervous, especially when he got up to. I'm pretty sure he got up to 90 points. It might have been
Yeah.
even 95, and he dropped right back down to 80. So yeah, I have my concerns, but yeah, as I said, that one question will be how long are they going to manage him for?
Well, I mean, ideal scenario, if he's going to get injured, he gets injured at training, not 2 minutes into a game.
Mm,
And then even better scenario is he doesn't get injured. Like he doesn't. That would be absolutely perfect. I know you're literally death riding him every game, but for the 50% of people that actually own him, then I mean, surely, surely he's going to be okay. But I guess we can move on. Are there any players? It's called Rage Trade Mondays for a reason. Are there any
mm.
players that you 100% regret starting right now?
Well, the obvious answer would be Whitfield because he scored 70, but I don't regret it.
Yep.
I think you and me both, we didn't have him all year last year, and
No.
it was just painful. He would just score for breathing, it felt like at some stages. And his role was obviously still there. He scored 100 in opening round, and I think he still had north of 20 disposals anyway. So just Giants got smacked. That there's no other way to go about it, and I think that um, he will bounce back. Another one is probably Ed Richards scoring 90, Sam Walsh scoring 94. Like these are pretty underwhelming premium scores, especially in round
Yep.
one, especially Walsh against Richmond, especially Richards in a smashing win. So I don't regret any of them yet. Ask me in a couple of weeks, and maybe I'll start to regret some of them. But in terms of my whole team, I don't think there is a single player that I regret starting. Even Blackiston, the role was there,
Yep.
the start was there. So yeah, I guess we just ride the team and see what happens.
I'm glad you brought up Whitfield because it just seemed like every player that started off poorly, which Whitfield did, except for like Gorn and maybe a few others, it is so hard to come back from. Like it is
Mm,
so difficult to actually, I guess, if you have 5 touches in the first and 3 are turnovers or clangers or incorrect disposal, a few frees against, you can almost lock in a down game because
yeah.
scaling's well, that's one thing that I saw. Like I was literally had the scores up for the North Port game. Todd Marshall went to the bench on like 23 and just kept scaling up. And at one point, I
Mm.
think at quarter time, he was like 31 or something, but yet he'd been off the field for the last 7 minutes or something. So scaling is one thing that is just absolutely insane this year. And I don't know if that's because we've got another player on the bench or literally what the go is, but that's one thing I've noticed. Like if you start poorly, chances are you're going to turn out a pretty crap score. And if you start well, I mean, first quarter you're almost laughing, are
Yeah, absolutely. The scoring did really feel different this round. I can't really pinpoint where it is. At the start, I thought maybe the extra two players were going to see a lot less big scores, but then, Bont went massive and Petrarca went massive again. Anderson went big. There was heaps of spike scores, so maybe that's not it. But it just felt for certain things that usually last year was +8, +10 points. It was more like four or like five this year. It just felt like everything was just a little bit less points. But yeah, you are right. Like it was an uphill battle for Ed Richards and Lockie Whitfield after they started slowly. And to be fair, in the end, 70 for Whitfield was probably a good result
you?
to where he was at. Um, but yeah, as I said, I'm backing him to bounce back. I still think he's a top 2, 3 defender this year. And yeah, I've got no issues with the pick, but yeah, it's an interesting one. The scaling definitely seems a bit different this season.
I mean, I completely agree on Whitfield. I don't know if I'm just looking at that through like rose tinted lens because every time I haven't
Mm.
owned him, he's just been absolutely insane. But yeah, no, I'm fairly confident that he will be. Yeah, maybe not top two now, purely because he's got that 70 in there. But yeah, maybe top four. I'd be pretty content in saying that he's going to lock that up. I mean, I think I don't know your team off the top of my head, but we avoided. Did you go Windsor at all?
No, no Windsor. I mean, the first quarter, I was thinking maybe I should have
Yeah.
gone him over Blackiston. He kicked that early goal, seemed to
Yep.
be everywhere. But just like the practice matches he had, I think around 80% CBAs in the first couple of quarters, and then faded out as the game went on, and that happened again in round one. So I don't know if they don't trust his tank. I don't know if it's just a getting into the midfield role as a young player, and they're going to keep upping those CBAs. But I avoided. I know you avoided.
Yep.
71st up. What's your thoughts on him overall?
I think a good way to describe him is that probably like 20 touches on average game. That could be in the realms of like 65 to 110.
Mm,
And obviously, you'd want more scores being on that 110 range of the scale than 65. Because I don't think he's going to rack up, 30 plus a game. And I don't think he's going to have those completely non existent games. But it
yeah.
just seems to me like, well, I don't think any of the mid prices in that bracket actually popped off, did they? I could be completely wrong, except for
Well, the only
Fonty.
one is Fonte.
Fonty. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the 119 and the 83.
Yep.
Yeah, he just looks good. Looks really good. We spoke about him briefly at the start when I was talking about potential trades I'll do, but I mean, both his games, 20 plus disposals. Seems to be playing that third to fourth tall and an extra rebounder alongside Ashton Whitfield. And
Mm,
yeah, he's a good user. They rate him highly. Only 21, but yeah, I don't know how much he's going to be making. I'll probably hit you up after this and ask you how
absolutely
much will
will.
Fonte make if he goes at 85 or something like that. But yeah, he's really the only one I think that popped in that range. I mean, Buderick got that 73, which is not that better than Windsor, but had that 100 the week before in the opening
Yep.
round. I think his role looks good enough.
Yep.
Like I'm not concerned over Windsor, Buderick at all, especially as a forward. But off the top of my head, I don't think anyone else popped in that range.
No, like there's trying to think who else there was. There was Coleman, who, in my opinion,
Mm,
just that uh, I will get slaughtered online for this, but I have no idea what people saw if you
yeah, nah,
selected him. Like genuinely no clue. Um,
agree.
Another one, I've been vocal on this, and Jesus, the abuse has come in thick and strong. Colby McKercher.
Mm,
Give me your thoughts on that because as soon as I like got any whiff, and this was from the Kanga Merchant, who's literally at every training session. This
yeah.
man knows North Melbourne better than you know how to get to work on weekdays. Like he's all over it. As soon as he said that McKershey's getting mid minutes, that was it. No chance. Like I'm firmly of the belief that a halfback role is so much better than mid minutes sprinkled with a little bit of halfback.
Oh, absolutely, and the stats back it up. I mean, last year, what I can't remember what the price was that you picked him up and a lot of other people picked him
Yeah.
up, but he averaged like sub 70, maybe even sub 65 in the first, what was it, 8 games or so, and then
Yep.
the 14 remaining games of the season went in that back roll again and averaged 100. In his debut season, same thing. In that half back roll, it was 100 plus, and around the ground, it was well below that. So yeah, as soon as I saw those mid reports, he was straight out of my calculations. I was a bit skeptical anyway, just because of the preseason he had.
Yep.
Um, Very interrupted with injury and stuff, but yeah, even the fears I saw just before the game started, Michael Barlow said that he's one of North's assistant coaches. Obviously, he said that you can expect to see McKercher get a bit managed, and that's what happened. 64% game time. I think he started the first 15 minutes or so on the bench. And then from then on, as you said, you start slow. It was an uphill battle for him. So,
Yep.
yeah, I didn't like what I saw, but I mean, as someone that loves value, I think around round 10, round 11 this season, Clarko's going to put him back again, and he's going to be a juicy price, and we're all going to cash in on it.
Or 100% he'll be an option this season. Absolutely. Just not at the
Mm,
start. Like
yeah.
he was on the bench for 14 minutes in the first term and still hadn't stepped foot onto the field. As if you selected him and if you saw the comments from Barlow and then still went ahead with it, that would have been rough because I think the only pivot you had left at that point in time was go up to McCarthy or go
Mm,
down to Windsor.
yeah. 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 And
And
besides, I think I saw a couple, and I advise against this as well. A couple went Bergman as well, just
yeah,
because
no.
it was a very similar price. But I mean, if you could have found that extra 50K to get to McCarthy, I think it would have been okay. I think he scored 80 something. The role looked good. But yeah, as soon as Barlow said that, yeah, I think a lot of people would have jumped off, but not many options to go to, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a bit rough. What about, and his name's has just escaped me. Euland. Zeke Euland, because you were so
Mm.
big on him. So big on him preseason.
Yes. Yeah. So he ended up coming out. I think it was actually his first preseason game I took him out. And then obviously still had an eye on him in the second one, still had an eye on him in the opening round game. But I'm just getting up now. I don't even know what he ended up scoring.
I've got no idea.
23, 23, 66% game time. So I don't know what his ownership ended up being. But yeah, the signs were there. Way too expensive for me for what he was showing. The reason I was so big was because I'm a big draft watcher. I love watching my draft most of the time because Essendon's down that end of the ladder and we're going to have a high draft pick. But
Yep.
he was dominating his underage year. He didn't play any footy last year in his top age year, just through injury and stuff. But he was averaging like 26 plus disposals in state champs and um, in the Coates League as well as a underager against the draft that we now know as Levi Ashcroft and Jagger Smith and all those type of guys. So that's why I was big him in, but in the end, the signs were there to jump off, and anyone who did grab him, yeah, they paid the price.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You literally beautiful segue, Essendon. Now, obviously,
Mm,
it wasn't the best game. We're not here to talk about. I want to know, why does your coach hate every single decent young prospect that you draft?
mm.
First, it was my man Sardis, who will probably come in this week and have, a quiet game. I'm thinking like 35 and 6. If he plays 70 time on ground. But Dyson Sharp, mate, like what? Why? Explain. Talk to me.
Oh, if I had the answer to that, I'd be able to tell you, but I don't understand the things he does sometimes. I mean, Sharp was awesome as a
Yeah,
as a forward. He was playing well, kicked two, showed a lot more than any of the other forwards did. And he just didn't get the game time. I know that yes, we'd rather him in the midfield, but unfortunately, as bad as we are, our midfield is our strongest point on the field. You know, we've got Merritt, we've got Parrish, we've got Caldwell, we've got Durham. It's a strong point of our team. But even as a forward, he still wasn't getting the game time, even though he was giving a good result back. So that was frustrating. And it's not even just the younger guys. Parrish started like a house on fire. And then as the game went on, I know he's coming back from injuries and stuff, so maybe this is the reason, but started to really get less game time. And in the end, I think he finished on 69% time on ground. So I think that's going to
yeah,
go up as the season goes on. But yeah, it's not just the young guys. I think some even went Archie Roberts, and yeah, that backfired big time. Even though the signs were there in the preseason to pick him, so yeah, hard. If I knew, I'd be able to sleep a lot better at night. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
yeah. Because the reason why I asked, like, he looked good. He did look good.
Yeah, he
But
looked
I
awesome.
feel purely from that one factor, the time on ground, which is obviously terrible, he's going to be a trade out option soon.
Yeah, I mean, if Philippou's fine, if Marshall's fine, I've got all three 99K guys. And if everyone else goes all right at the moment, which they are, I think Dyson Sharp could be my trade out candidate to Brandon Cook, who I think could become a must have if he replicates what he did in round one. I mean, the heat maps look good. It was a
Hmm.
mix of wing and defense, predominantly wing, but there was a bit of defense there as well. I think he had nearly 20 touches, kicked a goal, looked good. So, I mean, if none of these players that I have currently get dropped or injured, Dyson Sharp, because of the time on ground, could be the one that goes to Brandon Cook.
Well, realistically, he's not going to kick 2 goals a game, is he?
Absolutely not, and that's the issue. Because I railed off our midfield before and said it's our strongest point in our team. I don't think the midfield time's coming. Not this year, not in the first half of the year at least. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If he can end up turning a half forward role into a 60 averaging season.
I mean, that, yeah. And it's that elevated price as well. Like, he's just got to average significantly more than those lower price rookies. Like, right
Mm.
now, and I know I don't have him personally, I'd honestly probably rather Jack Carroll.
Yeah, see, Carroll, I don't have him. When I filter by break even of the rookies, I think I've got pretty much all of them but Jack Carroll.
Yep.
I ended up going for I had Murdoch, I had
Yep.
Blamiers, but then I ended up getting Watkins in for Carroll and banking that 30K or whatever it was. Um, so it's interesting, but I think I don't want Carroll. I think he will get dropped at some point. It's been 2 sub 60 scores, high 50s, I think they were. But there's just so much that can come in for the Saints back there. They're 0-2. Liam Stocker, Angus Hasty. There is a few guys that are banging down the door in that position. If Carroll plays one more bad game or one more average game with the way the Saints are going, I think he could be the first one out. So I'm still not sold on that one, but would I rather Sharp over him? I think Sharp's job security is better, but the scoring
Yeah.
of Carroll in that role, if he keeps it, is obviously better.
I think as soon as Hunter Clark is fully fit, I'm under the impression that he was re-injured, I think. But I think as soon as he's fully fit, like, that's just, yeah, see you later, Carol.
Mm.
Mate, we had a little chat, obviously, prior to going on air, that we would do half just a little chit chat, go through what we were thinking, and then the other half getting to the comments. I've just looked at our joint bank account, which you spend way too much money out of, and DR has deposited the hourly rate. So, by my calculations, it is about time we get to some comments. And there's some familiar names here, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Some very loyal
Mm.
viewers that have come back to support us. Makes my I guess black heart, a little bit happier. We've got Jackie B. It's the 2 most beautiful men on YouTube. Absolutely, we are. How are we, lads? Joshy, this is another year of me finishing top of our table. 3 years in Norway now, and it's still happening. Just need to take the first. Now, you told me this story, and I have no idea how you still haven't pipped him yet.
He's good as Supercoach. He's committed as well. I think you stay up late sometimes for EPL fantasy. This is
Yep.
what he does. He gets up early. He stays up late. He watches the games. And yeah, he's just good as Supercoach, playing all the way from Norway. I think in that league he's talking about at the moment, I think we've got 3 people overseas at the moment. One's on holiday, obviously Jack, and I think the other one's on holiday as well. So I think this round into the International Cup, I think Jack and the other guy that's away overseas is playing each other. But yeah, he's good. He's good Supercoach. That's all I can say. But hopefully this is my year and I knock him off and get that ego down a little bit.
Lovely. He did also shoot in that he's had a mare. He had Worrell, turned him into Clark, had Sarong, turned him into Walsh, had Bont, turned him into Richards, all last minute, but avoided young
Mm.
Goulden. What are we doing with Blackiston and Poo? I think you wait on Blackiston and you wait for some more updates on Philippou. Like corked quad, what's that? Is that a week?
Yeah, it's a week at most. Even if it was a tear, I know it's not. You probably still hold them anyway. Just as I said at the top of the pod to have a look at those rookies before they hit that bubble. But yeah, at the moment, I'd hold fire. We've actually spoken a bit about Blackus and DeFonte in the chat. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that I may be considering.
Yeah, I mean, what year was it? Was Hewitt? Did he have a quad bleed? You remember when Hewitt was a
Mm.
defender?
Yeah, I do. When he was at 300K defender and sideline house on fire, he had something
Yeah.
along the lines of that.
I think it was like bleeding on the quad. I don't think it was a corked quad, or it
Yeah.
came out that it was bleeding on there or something. And this is an absolute local legend. Logs, this was our Carlton insider. Named the team, I reckon, probably 95% of the time last year, and also gave us the sub. So the inside information was fantastic. Says Scobes, long time no see. Good to see those pies are still awful. And he also says, didn't forget about you, Joshy. Your mod's
Mm.
even worse. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can say to that because literally we're 1-1 and Carlton's 1-1 as well. So makes me sick saying that. Driz SC says, hey lads, this week I'm rage trading Harvey Langford and Blackiston for Bont and Murdoch. I'd probably do that. I just
Yeah,
don't.
I
I'd
would
probably
too.
do that because Murdoch looked good. Like literally, this bloke was a sparky 2 weeks ago, full time, and now he's the best player on their list.
Yeah, yeah, and it just
And
goes to show, like, how many guns there are in the
oh,
state leagues. Like, Blamirez is another one that just got signed 2 weeks ago,
yep,
and he was
yep.
awesome. I think he ends up getting 20 plus touches. So yeah, I think I would do this. I don't know what Langford actually scored, but
No
I
idea.
mean, Murdoch's probably going to match Blackiston, or maybe not match. I think his scoring in that role might get a little bit lower, but Bont's going to outscore Langford by 40, 50 points each week.
Could be
So yeah,
more,
I'd
honestly.
definitely do it. Yeah.
Yep. I don't really like cheese, my babies. We love your cheese. This is a very angry individual.
Very
Very
angry.
angry. Yeah, not many positive things going on in Cheese's life at the moment. Yeah, and he's just dirty that we're going to outrank him for like 15th consecutive year. The Omanus 8260. I'm liking Ash and Murdoch for Goulden and Philippou. Thoughts. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're well also, mate. Can you get? I wouldn't go Philippou out. No,
Mm,
not yet. Would you?
no, I wouldn't. I mean, even before that injury, he looked pretty piss poor, to be honest. But I think the role's there. I think he's going to get better. If you can try and get a, oh, you don't even need to downgrade a rookie to get that cash, do you? Unless he's started the season with zero to 20K. So
Mm,
try and do it just good and straight to Ash with maybe some flex and some switching around, Rosie in the midfield, whatever you want to do. But if you have to trade a rookie, surely you can find one better trade out than Philippou.
yeah, I mean, a different story if Roster Boss comes out and just said, "Yeah, it's a corked
Mm,
quad," and he's going to line up. Like then
yeah.
he's not even in your thoughts to trade out. You got Supercoach Gerbs. I had my glasses off, so I thought Joshy's top said burgers. Oh, that's a shout out to Clayton. We love Clayton. Have you seen the video of him on the scooter?
Yeah, he falls off.
Oh,
Poor
oh my,
Clayton.
oh my God! If anyone is wondering what we're referring to, look up Clayton's World on Facebook or whatever on all socials. Look for the scooter video, and my God, it is cinema. Balupa, he's a fantastic individual, this fella. Absolutely got time for him. I don't really like cheese. Non-good owners getting lucky and missing an obvious pick figures. Again, always complaining about something. John says, can't trade to Goey Pro Star. Yeah, fair. Shout out to you, Johnny boy. Balupa says he doesn't want to jump on Sarong yet. He doesn't love most of his score that came from a massive fourth quarter with Scaling and Hayden Young at full forward. This reiterates what you said.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm just going to quickly look at Sarong's CBAs across the whole game.
Fairly certain he was the most in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, so in the first quarter, he had 6, 7 in the second, 7 in the third. And yeah, so he played all of the CBAs in the second and third quarter, a lot in the first. And surprisingly, he actually only had 3 CBAs in the last quarter.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know if that was because there wasn't as many centre bounces. I can't really remember how many goals were kicked in that last. I think there was a fair few. But yeah, interestingly that he actually did most of his work outside of that centre bounce rotation.
Oh, and there's a certain. I know this is the only correlation is that they both play for Freo. There's a certain someone that may or may not be watching that started Brayshaw. So shout out to him.
Yes.
That's an absolutely shocking performance from Sugar Bray.
Yeah.
Driz says, I was considering Cook, but unsure of his job security with Rankin to come in. No issue there. I don't think they both play completely different parts of the ground. And I think the only one that'll be impacted will probably be Rochelle's midfield time.
Yeah, I think the forward DPP alongside the mid is what's making people a bit concerned about Rankin
Yeah.
coming in, but that's not where Cook's playing. He's playing wing, he's playing defence, nothing to do with Rankin. I mean, I'd be a little bit concerned if Mitch Hinge and Dan Kernan were coming back, but they're not coming back for a few weeks now. So Kernan, I think it's even mid-season, so I wouldn't be concerned about Rankin affecting Cook. But as I said multiple times already, definitely give it one more week just to have one more look.
Yep, I agree. Josh YV for YM, whatever that means. Personally, I'm keen on Errol to Holmes. However, Holmes has bye this week, which is so frustrating. I've owned Sarong and Nando before. Don't like them as picks. Too many mouths to feed. I mean, that's a lot of personal preference there. Which again, like I've never owned Ando, so I can't comment on that, and I don't think I've ever owned Sarong. So, yeah. He also says, is it worth going Goulden to Murdoch this week and then getting Holmes next week? I don't mind this.
I don't know if I like it. Like, if I think I'd just rather get like someone, if you can work it with your flex and stuff, getting in a Jackson or getting in a Sarong, getting in a Jordan Dawson, getting in someone that's not on the buy, rather than going another primo down for one more week. But yeah, I don't mind it because Holmes does look good, but I'd still be a bit iffy on doing it.
I won't. I can. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Oh my god. Ayasiva Kumar 9363. I've butchered that real bad. Should we trade Grundy this week to Jerry? No.
No, absolutely not. Keep Grundy. He's going to be better. And just while we're on Sherry, I don't know if anyone follows Fantasy Freako, but there was some pretty concerning stats that he tweeted out about Sherry today. I think it was Sherry was the lowest ranked for hit outs win percentage, I think it was, or something like that. It was 20 something percent. And that's against Dante Vizentini. He only managed a 120 against Dante Vizentini. So I'm still really against Sherry, especially for that price. So
Yep.
definitely don't trade into it.
No, I completely agree. Balupa says he's thinking about a similar thing to something you said earlier. I've got no idea what it might be. Primordial Quasar. Hey boys, nice hearing Scobes broadcast from the air traffic control towers. Yeah, but fair. Cop that and play on. Rookie, shout out to you, mate.
What a
Shout out
king.
to you, absolute superstar. Boy, I missed the mood lighting from Joshy. Yes, very sensual. I mean, do you have like control? Can you like dim them a little bit or?
I can't even forget the remote, but it's on the other side of the room. I can't be bothered. I tried to
That
add an extra touch by putting footy highlights on in the background, but you can't see it, so it doesn't really
no.
matter, does it? But yeah, the only time I ever turn these on is when I've got the pod. I mean, I use the
No.
TV
Yes.
cabinet one all the time because it's just nice to watch the footy on, but
Yep.
the roof one, barely on, ever.
There are so many things that I could say and ask you right now, but we are not getting cancelled the first episode. And Jesus, I nearly went to the next one. Have a look at the next comment, and if that's not a reference to something a certain someone has said in a certain chat, which we will not go to, that I have lost my mind to multiple times. I don't really know. Cheese says, if we got a free rage trade a year, I'd immediately use it on Geordie Clark. We'll keep it PG, but God, I hate him right now. You definitely didn't start him, did you?
Nah, I didn't. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty close. When Luke Ryan was confirmed to not be in that team and definitely on the outer, it got me a bit more keen to start a Jordan Clark, especially with their
Yep.
fixture. But he's going to be all right. I mean, 75. I'd love to know how many points exactly he lost for that horrific turnover late in the game
Yeah.
that ends up really costing them. So he's going to be fine. And yeah, I mean, look at last year, average 105, but it was just consistency. No real spike scores, no low scores. It was consistency. So no issues there.
Lovely, mate. Primordial Quasar says, I'm not sure with the Jackson pick only because of structure, as without any DPPs for this first round, it really restricts flexibility. How important do you think that is right now? If you're picking Cook up, like if we're talking flexibility as a whole, if you're picking Cook up after next week, he's probably the only DPP rookie you're going to
Mm.
have. So, like, we're all in the same boat, are we not?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like up forward, I've got two of Marshall, Lombard, Philippou, and Devrob stuck on the bench
Yep.
because I can't get any of them to the flex. I've got Jagger at M8, just behind Bruin, and then a good mid bench now with Blamirez. Sharp's not that great, but Watkins and Murdoch.
Yep.
So I'm actually struggling to get the rookies I want on field as it starts with. So I don't know. I feel like you could probably still afford to go Jackson at flex because I can only rotate midfielders through there at the moment.
Yep. No, I agree. Belupa says Holmes and Nando are my favourite options from Goulden. Callahan also looks good. Joshy, rank these for
Mm.
me. Holmes, Nando, and Callahan. Gun to your head. What's your initial thoughts?
Well, before Callahan got injured, I had him as the third highest rated mid when I was doing my draft rankings. And I know you don't like draft, but that still applies to Classic. I had him as my third highest averaging midfielder. So I'm going to still say Callahan number one, number two Nando, and number three Holmes. I ended up
Interesting.
starting Nando over Callahan just because I was a bit concerned after that sub 100 score in opening round. I thought he was still a bit sore, but what I saw on the weekend, he's looking good again. They got smashed by the Dogs. He scored 120. I think just quickly, it was 118 across, I think, the last 15 or 17 games last year from Callahan. He's just built for Supercoach. So he's the number one for me.
So you're saying that I should not get in Noah Anderson and get Finn Callahan?
If you have some balls, do it. You always rip into me for having no balls, and I got rid of Hayden
When?
Young. I didn't
I don't.
start Golden.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I don't think I've
Uh,
ever said an ill word towards you. To be fair, that's not even a joke.
Put it this way, I'd be very proud of you if you got Callahan in this week.
Yeah, and then he's going to rip his quad off the bone in the second quarter, which you just know that's going to happen. Carl Manny says, Scoob's the most switched on operator in this space. Geez, it must be a small space. And is there a world where the answer to all of our problems is Dan Houston? Can you see him maintaining the output or worry RE more? How? That is such a good question. How? No, because I really think that there is a genuine chance that Howe plays maybe like 40% of his game time forward because our forward structure is just genuinely non-existent, and he's done it in the past as like a wild card option. and he's good at it. Moore is the only issue because he took literally all of the kickouts last year. But to me, like, it's a clear directive to get the ball in Houston's hand. We've had the comment from Fly. I wouldn't say he's going to maintain his scoring. I think it definitely will be hampered a little bit. To what extent, I've got no idea. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm probably going to jump on him after the bye. So do with that what you will, mate. Are you interested in Houston at all?
Certainly wasn't in the preseason. I didn't think things were going to change, especially with. I know a lot of people were thinking about with Dacos going into the mids, but that hasn't even happened. And Houston's still going well, so I wasn't really into it. But I mean, he's come out and scored well in opening round, scored well in round one, had good preseason games. And we know the pedigree he has when he was in the last 2 years of Port Adelaide. It was
Yep.
very good averages. So I don't think he's the answer to a lot of our problems, but I think he could definitely propel you up the rankings and in your cash leagues, whatever you play for. It's just more a question of how do you get him in, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get that. Carl also says if you started Vicentini and Blackinson, how long would you be prepared to stick fat with them to see if they can fulfill the assignment? One more week.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
I'd
yeah,
stick one more week. I mean, as I've said multiple times, I'm starting to think about getting rid of Blackstone. I'm just quickly looking at Byzantine's score, 62. So both of them, in the end, scored 62. Both of them had the role, though. I'd be a bit more concerned with Byzantini owner, though, because they have Jordan Sweet there, whereas we've got Vigo Byzantini, but I think Blackerson's still miles ahead of him. So I'd
yeah,
be a bit more concerned if I was Byzantini owner. And if I saw Sweet come in this week, I'd probably get rid of him, to be honest. Um, I don't know if you've got him at R2 or if you got him in flex. If you got him in flex, it opens up possibilities. And I mean, you can make 5K and get Fonty in if Sweet comes in this week.
yep. I mean, fair call, fair call. Cheese says, facts goes, why on earth would anyone keep Kirsch? The writing was right in front of you. You can only blame yourself. He just stirs the pot. Um, Unbiasedly biased. He was playing half forward last year. I
I think
think
that
that
was in relation to Bakircha.
yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, understood. Jeffrey, he's a good man. Boys, lads, legends. I have all the love for you guys, but a lot of hate in my heart for my team. I was gung ho and dropping Clary for Young, but slept on it, and with a fresh mind, I decided not to. That's very responsible. Surely you give yourself one more week, don't you, Joshy?
Yeah, his break even's 90 something, so it's not like it's a must trade. That 120 in opening round gives you a bit of a safety blanket from that 60 score. I mean, you picked them off that 120 in opening round. They got smashed by the Dogs, absolutely smashed. Most of GWS played bad. I mean, Whitfield scored a 70 for God's sake. So I'd definitely give Clary one more go. I don't actually know who they've got this round. I'm gonna have a quick look now, but uh, they've got this round St Kilda. So I reckon you can see a spike score against St Kilda this week.
Yeah,
Back at home, I wouldn't be too worried about Clary for now. And you just want to see one more week of Young. I mean, if he plays the last quarter full forward again, or if he doesn't score as well as you're hoping,
yeah,
um, you don't want to go there. So you're probably going to end up doing two correctional trades if that went south. So just hold Clary one more week.
yeah. Of course, you'd pump yourself up, wouldn't you? Carl Maney says, does it make sense to trade out Goulden but hold on to Marshall and Philippou? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yep. Next, I recognize this name. Dalek says, "Is this when you tried to teach me about that weird sci-fi stuff?"
Yeah, it's Dalek. But it's
Stand
just
corrected.
it's from Doctor Who. Surely you know the show Doctor Who. I understand. I don't think you understand anything about it or know anything about it, but it's from Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, I've heard that like somewhere along the lines. Okay, but we'll move on. Hey guys, hope you're well. I like others have Goulden. I had a rogue thought of chopping Goulden into a Worrell Malira and using the spare cash to upgrade Blackstone to Houston next week. I don't hate that at all. I really
Yeah,
don't.
I like it. I've got Miller in 2 draft leagues, and he looked a completely
Oh,
different player to his whole
yeah.
career. He looked awesome. But I don't know, Collingwood, it's usually pretty good matchup for half-backers, so I'd be a little concerned in terms of what's it like for the rest of the season, but my god, he looked good. Looked really good as their main distributor.
Yeah, well, I saw him absolutely tear us apart. So, yep, that was fantastic. He also says, I want to grab Fonty, but I don't know if I can justify bringing him in only for one round potentially. I don't think I would have the cash for all three. All right, Joshy, who do you get? Houston, Worrell slash Malira, and Fonty.
Well, they're all different prices, but the first thing I will say is he's saying justify bringing in Fonte for 1 round. I know he's got the buy in round 4, but Fonte's not a 1 round pick. He's got a really good break even, a really good role, some really good scoring behind him. So I'd still have him number 1 just because of his price, and then I'd probably go Houston, Miller, and Worrell just because Worrell's the most expensive and he really faded out as the game went on. And out of the 4, probably has the least best role because he plays a bit more lockdown than the others.
By faded out, you mean we actually decided not to just directly kick the ball straight into his hands numerous times. My God, that was absolutely infuriating. Roddy Todd says, oh, if it wants to show, the boys are back. Absolutely. Unbiasedly biased, he is not a fan of Carroll. Doesn't reckon he's going to make it past 3 games. That's fair. Also got Jamesy Lewis says Brayshaw 44.
Oh
Wasn't it
god.
48? I think it was 48. Like, that was just, oh, yeah,
Regardless, it's not good, especially as someone who started Brayshaw last year and was loving the ride.
yeah.
I feel pretty bad for anyone that signed him this year because the signs weren't there.
You know, when I brought him in last year, he averaged like literally 102
Yeah,
for
he
the rest.
dropped off late. I
Yeah,
think
it
he
was,
averaged like 130 for the first 8 or
yeah, it
something,
was great. It
and then
was
he just really
fantastic.
dropped off. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Avatar of Paper Magic 2491. Jesus Christ. Considering it's my second year, it's easily the best start I've had. Would you chase points this week or continue setting up cash generation if you were in my spot? Rank 42nd, mate. What are you doing here? Tell us what to do. Oh, yeah.
Definitely don't chase points though. You've
Oh,
clearly got a
no.
good team anyway, so you don't need to chase points. Just keep setting up cash gen if you want it to last 23 rounds and not 10.
Yeah. Oh, no, do whatever, mate. Do whatever. Don't take advice from me. Cheese says, I really don't like going Bont when you'd have the buy next week. Stay strong in the fade. Yep. No, fair enough. Balupa says, are we going Murdoch or Cook this week or waiting and watching? Also, what's it going, Watkins? I think if you had to go on one of them, it's Murdoch and you wait on the other two.
Yeah, definitely wait on Cook, just because he's at that 158 price tag compared to 99k, and Murdoch's playing in the worst team in the competition. And he's just kicked 2 and had 20 touches as a 25-year-old. So unless injury happens, he's pretty bloody safe.
Yep, I agree. Again, Cheese, absolute superstar. I think I'm banging the cash from Gould and getting Holmes after his bye with his mid-kicking role, but Sarong won't stop giving me that look. Yeah, I think I prefer Holmes over Sarong, mate.
Yes, so would I. It just depends how much you play for league or ranking, because that extra game from Sarong can definitely help.
Yep, very good comment. Jeffrey said, from these blokes, who would you trade for Milan and Cook over the next 2 rounds? Lindsay, Selwood, Watkins, Pooh, if missing a game. If Philippu's missing a game, I still wouldn't trade him. And I would miss, or I'd miss Cook and probably trade Selwood, I think.
I'd do the exact same thing. Salwood's coming off a 38 or something, whereas Lindsay, he was really slow to start. I think it was like 28 three-quarter time, ended on 61, but the roll's there. Yeah, I'd probably be getting rid of Salwood.
Lovely. I've just lost the comments where we're up to. Oh my god. Magpies _2 says can go Bont and Poo to what? Can go Bont and Poo to Murdoch and Bont. The only way I can do that is I have no idea. Like, is there another Bont? That's
Fontainebleau.
yeah, that's
Fonty.
yeah. That's stuffing me up there. Um, Supercoach Jerv says, if you're silly like me and started Rivers to fade McCurch, should I consider going down to Fonty or wait a week and go for Houston? By the way, how good of a pick was your boy? Oh yeah, no, to go was shocking, shocking.
Mm,
No, I'd wait a week and go get Houston.
I probably would too. Yeah.
Yep. Vella's Magic, the same reason you guys suggested Jerry's stat is concerned. Oh, wait, I didn't suggest anything. I did not suggest anything. Is concerning is the same reason I think he's a good pick going 128 in a round where he's had the least hit out percentage. What happens when he plays well? Joshy, this is all you, not me.
But the thing is, though, he had that low percentage against Vicentini. Like, that's probably one of the easiest matchups he's going to get all season. I think he's got Blackiston coming up as well. But, I just don't know how you think 128 in a low percentage is a good thing when it happened against a, 21-year-old 10-game ruckman that is a shadow of what Sherry is or was. So, yeah, I think it's still concerning.
Well, I'm staying out of that. Don't bring me into your verbal online altercations. Jeez, we got that there. Do we worry about Gawn, or was his last quarter huge score just a Gawn carrying Melbourne symptom that we likely see a lot this year? I don't think I'd be worried about Gawn, but yeah, he did go nuclear. He did very well to salvage that, actually. I wouldn't worry if I owned Gawn.
No, absolutely not. He's still maxi, even at his age.
Yep. No, love that. Cheese is ripping into you once again, which I love. Didn't Geordie Clark have 250s last year, Joshy? Someone hasn't done their homework.
Yeah, and he averaged 105. So, like, I mean, every single player has a bad game. I think Bont even scored a 60 something. So
Mm.
yeah, he's still consistent. I'm pretty confident on that. Besides maybe 250s.
Yeah, fair. Jerv says, Joshy, I'm a peanut and have El Achka on my bench. Do I punt him for someone else? Thank you, Essendon expert Alpha Wolf Daddy Supreme.
Can't believe you read all that, but
Yeah, I know. That was a
yeah,
fair
I
effort.
I'd hold. Oh, actually, just one more week. There's no point trading these rookies before they hit the bubble, especially when all the trading targets up forward aren't on the bubble yet. I don't think there's any good ones that are on the bubble. So yeah, I just hold it, and then you can have a look at who the best option is to trade in.
Yep. No, lovely. Joshy, we've got 2 minutes until we start charging overtime, and I don't think there is a balance for that. Give me your thoughts on Merritt. Quick summary.
Played really well, but I think long term, he's not going to be a top 10 mid, and that's what we're going to pick him at that price. So I'd still leave him out of your calculations.
Is it worth to just go Goulden to Sarong or use two trays and get Goulden to Anderson by ditching
Uh,
Sharp?
I'd use just the one trade. You don't want to use two trades yet. Sharp maybe on the chopping block later, but you still give him one more week, don't you?
Lovely. Blackerson to Fonty, no brainer. I think he agrees with you.
Oh, Windy, I've done a massive deep dive on it today, looking at heat maps, everything, and even Blackerson's ruck run, and I still don't know what to do. So yeah, hopefully I had the confidence that you have, because yeah, I do like Fonty, but as you pointed out to me, actually, Scobes, I'd have Sinclair, Whitfield, and Fonty down back, which isn't ideal for the round four bye.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can't read out Cheese's next comment because that's going to incite hate towards other people. Doctor Who watches that. Am I right, Scoobs? I've never seen it. It might be fantastic. It might be fantastic. I've never seen it. Thanks, Scobes, for the confidence in yourself, mate. Inspiring as. Yep. You get honesty around here. Can't read out the next comment because we'll get hate for that as well. We've spoke about Philippou. I don't think it's a trade, is it?
No.
No. This is your mate Dalek. I forgot to mention in relation to the Worrell Malira comment earlier. I wouldn't have the cash to get Houston, Malira, and Fonty without chopping that 295k player, i.e. Blackiston Fonty.
Yeah, I'd probably
Oh,
settle on just Fonty then.
yep.
Yeah, and bypassing the 400k plus guys.
JR, I'll shout out to you, mate. He wants to know, Joshy, do we captain Butters this week?
Oh, this does my head in. For anyone who doesn't know what he's referring to, I changed the captaincy of Noah Anderson that I had running for 3 weeks to Butters 5 minutes before the game, even though that talk was Fino Sullivan would tag him, and it didn't go well. But this week, I'd do it again. I think I'm going to be going in Anderson VC
I'm
into
literally no,
Butters.
wait. Oh, I was literally going to say
Yeah,
I'm going to go Ando into Butters. Yep,
yeah,
that's
Ando
literally it.
against Richmond, and then Butters against Essendon. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a no-brainer. I didn't have a loophole last week because I started Mitch Edwards over Kalani White. You asked me earlier, do I regret any players? Maybe I do regret Mitch Edwards, but I think in the long run, I'd rather someone making money at R3 than nothing. So, um, to answer your question, yes, I do have a captain on him again, but hopefully I take my VC.
Lovely. HTC says, hey lads, I know it's only one score, but genuine thoughts on Malira for Archie Roberts this week. I want Houston next week, so kind of need to do the trade this week. If you're set on Houston next week, I'd do that.
Yeah, I would as well.
And then you don't need to be invested in Essendon games like a certain someone that might be on with me right now. Magpie says, can go Goulden and Pooh to Murdoch and Bond. Only way I can do that is if I have McAndrew on ruck bench, current flex, have Grundy and English on field. No, because I think McAndrew is probably like a 90% chance to outscore every other rookie.
Yeah, besides Jagger, he's by far,
Yes, sorry.
in
Yep,
my
yep,
opinion, the best rookie. He looked awesome against DC, who's a hard matchup.
yep. No, he was fantastic. He probably should have scored more, to be fair. So 88 was a fantastic return. Driz says Blackiston's next 6-game matchup, Vicentini, Jerry, English, Gorn, Witts, and Cameron, not ideal. Well, I mean, if he stops giving away those frees against, he's probably going to be all right. Like, remember, he's not like, he's a defender priced at 295k with the main ruck roll. It's not a 500k ruck. Like, you've got to think, what are you expecting from this? Like, if he pops out a 75 this week, I'm probably holding anything
Yeah,
under.
I
And
agree.
yeah, we'll be having that discussion. Right, last comment, mate. JR says track into Butters has to be the call. It will be Anderson for me because I just play the percentages and I'd back in that track would probably have a stinker after his first 2 amazing games and Ando's got a higher floor. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, I think it's fair enough, but it is an interesting discussion point with how track's gone. I mean,
Amazing.
I honestly, I'll put my hand up. I'll be honest. I wasn't starting him until opening round. I didn't have him in my
Yep.
team.
Yep.
I think you
Absolutely
might
same.
have been the same as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, that opening round game blew me away. He looks just a completely different player to what he was at Melbourne. He looks skinnier.
Yep.
He's kicking better. His biggest flaw was his kicking, and he's
He's
pinpointing
hitting
everything now.
targets. Yep.
He's finishing goals, which was a massive kryptonite of himself as well. So it's definitely a discussion point, but as you said, playing the percentages and the floor, and I think the history against the Richmond as well. Noah Anderson, captain for vice captain for me.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Anderson into Dacos for me. And we will
Butters.
leave. Hey?
Dacos, right? He's not
Yes,
playing.
I see. That's what you get around here. Absolute geniusness. Thank you so much for everyone that's tuned into the first edition of A Rage Trade Mondays. Joshy, I'm sure we will be back here next Monday, same time, with some actual trades to go through. I know I'll be using one this week, but depending on what happens, I'm sure there'll be more carnage. It always eventuates. Is there anything we've forgotten?
No, I haven't forgotten anything. If you weren't here at the start, unfortunately, no team dropped Thursdays this year.
Yes.
Scobes got uni, some other commitments as well. And to be honest, most Thursdays I was at the pub or going to the game. So still got
Yep.
Race Trade Mondays. We'll be back here next week at 8:30. And as Scobes said, we'll actually be rage trading, have some trades up our sleeves. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add.
No, No, I don't know what happened there, but absolutely not. So thank you once again. Make sure if you check the video out on the replay or if you've tuned in tonight, as soon as it goes up, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, I have no idea why you're here and you still haven't subbed yet. And it was awesome to see some familiar names that have supported us since the beginning. And that is it for us tonight. So thank you very much. And as always, enjoy, and we'll see you next Monday. Thank you. Oh, not bad.